How do they handle secondary education, and how do they handle student loans in other countries outside the United States? Maybe there's something there that we can learn. What we typically do in the United States when it comes to loans and other student loans is we tend to deal with the symptoms and not deal with the problems. We're going to discuss how other countries deal with secondary education and how they finance their post-high school educations. Well, tools that they use in other nations sometimes are used in the United States, but they seem to be more used with more authority, such as internships, apprenticeships, work-study programs. Vocational training almost in the United States is not seen as being something that is happening. Accreditation tools that are used in other nations and somewhat in the United States, but not as much. There are professional badges. There are programs like joint relationships with a company like Apple and a high school, particularly in places like Germany between Siemens and its high schools. Junior colleges are used differently in other nations than in the United States. A lot of nations, matter of fact, most nations have a longer school day. And some of them even have free public universities. So I'm going to talk about Canada, and you people from Canada watching, you know this better than I, and if you want to add something, I'd appreciate it. But I'm going to tell you as much as I know about Canada as far as how they handle secondary ed and preparation for post-high school. I believe there's a 15-year forgiveness factor in Canada, and there is a national student loans program which 42% of the users are between ages 20 and 24, and that's a little bit different in the United States. That demographic's a little bit older in the United States. 60% of the Canadian people who use student loans are female, and that's similar to the United States. There's about 650,000 student loans that cost Canada $3.6 billion. And there's a fixed interest rate, I believe. There are student loan programs and grants in Canada. The debt is about, for, again, college is about $28,000 undergrad, $33,000 for grad, and medical students, again, like the United States, seem to have most of this debt. There is private loans available, and I believe here that you can apply for bankruptcy in Canada, and unlike the United States, in most cases, it does not eliminate the loan. In Canada, I believe it does. It does get discharged. The Canadian vocational system is strong. They believe in it. They have a longer school day than the United States. And over 90% of the students have government-backed loans for, I guess, public institutions and private institutions. There's 7% of Canadians have private loans. So they look kind of similar to the way things do in the United States, except for they the forgiveness and the bankruptcy piece. Now, in Germany, there is a low rate of interest, and private universities in Germany are about 26K BA, 40 MA. There are scholarships available, little debt, but German universities, the public ones, are free. So the Germans are willing to pay additional taxes because they see the value of an extended education. And if you speak German and you go to Germany, you can most likely, if you have the wherewithal, you could probably get a free education in a German university, public university. Denmark, Finland, and Iceland also have free colleges. The taxpayers again see the value. Secondary education in Germany is well structured. They have opportunities at, I believe, the 9th grade to choose different career tracks, and people aren't tracked into college like they are in the United States. There are other alternatives to make things work for you. Within the United States itself, we know most of this. There are lots of private universities in the United States, more private universities in the United States, and I may be being facetious, but probably in more private universities in the United States than there is in Europe. The average debt undergrad is $38K. The average student age is older, as we talked about in Canada. People tend to take out loans later in life and go back to school later in life in the United States. There's no loan forgiveness right now. There's a temporary loan deference right now. But going in front of the Supreme Courts of the United States, the Biden administration is trying to develop a program for loan forgiveness. We should know the results of that by the beginning of mid-spring. I doubt very much that it'll work through. But in one thing that the Biden administration has done is come up with a program. I think it's called Repay, and this order offers a track, again, dealing with the symptom, not the problem. The symptom that people can't pay these debts back. The problem is fixing making maybe the American education system more like the German system, rather than forcing people to go to college when they really may not need that. But in any event, if you have $12,000 or less in money, if you reach a certain level in the poverty level, if you default, you fall into this new repay plan. I believe the interest does not accrue. Correct me, please, if I'm wrong. There's 4 discrete different plans. The problem with this is straightforward. One, it doesn't solve the problem. And the problem is you may take care of these people at this time with this edict or presidential mandate, but what happens 5 years from now when this problem reoccurs? The other problem it presents is moral hazard. That's an insurance term. It's a term where if I walk into a bar and sit down and I'm drinking Dewar's and nothing against Dewar's, but I'm drinking Dewar's Scotch. And somebody walks in the bar and says, you know what, give that man whatever he wants. I'm drinking top shelf now. Moral hazard is when there's really nothing for you to lose by taking a degree in Persian history, knowing you're not going to get a job, knowing someone's going to pay for it. Okay. And that's transferred on to the taxpayer. So, well, in America, we're sitting around with 3 years of deference from student loan debt, the forbearance from COVID. It's costing a ton of money. We need to start looking at problems. I mean, I think Germany's got it. If you liked the video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe. And I look forward to seeing you at the next one. Have a good day. Bye.